Hi guys, welcome back. It's a really beautiful day, so I thought I would film outside today. I'm hearing frogs and birds all around me, and I really hope the wind is not too disturbing. One of the biggest questions most people have when they're thinking about quitting their job is naturally, how will I pay for my bills? How will I live? How will I survive? I can't quit my job. I have responsibilities, which is true. And all those questions, I can promise you, are born out of fear. Before I even talk about how to quit your job, it is important to create a certain mindset and to understand that in life, everybody's going somewhere. But are you following the path that was meant for you? Or are you following instructions from other people and from society? Nobody knows how much time they have left in your role on this planet. And usually it's not enough time. All of us are responsible for our own happiness and our own dreams. Truly, we are. It is only fair that dictates how far one person will go compared to the other person. Everyone that you aspire to be like was fearful at one point. They were also fearful before they made that first move to be successful. Why is it okay for them to pass through that fear, but not okay for you? A life is filled with good and bad decisions. A life is filled with tears. Life is filled with love and hate and loss and pain. But the good thing is, all those things that you pass through in life are uniquely yours. This is your journey, and only you alone can do this. Do not let fear dictate what you will do in life. You know why? Because fear isn't real. It's not something real. It's something that may or may not happen. And most often than not, the thing that you fear will not happen. Do not waste your time hiding away from taking chances in life. Do not let people around you talk you out of taking those chances only because they are afraid of making a step or doing something different. Usually it's the people around you that is the entire problem, and it's not because they don't love you. More often than not, it's because they do love you, that they want to protect you from being hurt, making a mistake, or going down the wrong path. But it is mostly it's their fear that they're projecting on you, and you cannot let that stifle your chances of living. Most of the people that you aspire to be like also had to pass through that. So once you get that mindset and you understand that you should not let fear stop you from taking certain steps, then it's time to prepare to quit your job. Now, once you've made up your mind that you want to quit your job, there's a lot of planning that you have to do. It might take some people 6 months, it might take some people a year, it might even take some people 5 years, but you have to start planning. And one of the things that you have to do is look at your situation. Truthfully look at your situation. And if you're alone or if you're with a partner, let's start if you're alone. If you're alone and you lose your job, how are you going to pay your rent, or how are you going to pay your bills? If that's a problem, then find a roommate or give up your apartment and maybe go back home. You have to fix that initial problem. How are you going to pay your rent? Because you don't want to be homeless. So that is something you have to look into. And besides your rent, you have other things. So if you did find somebody to move in with you, then you have to find different ways to cut costs. And that could be maybe not having 3 streaming systems like Netflix and Amazon Prime or whatever else you have. Cut it down to 1. Look at all your subscriptions. Get rid of the things that you don't need. Changing your life and going to live a more simpler life requires a lot of sacrifices, requires a lot of self-reflection, and it requires a lot of truth-telling to yourself. And most importantly, it requires understanding the things we need and not the things that we want. And once you start to eliminate all the things in your life that you simply wanted, you will see that most probably all of your bills will be cut in half, if not more. And if you're living with someone already and you're living on 2 salaries and you have to make a drastic cut because you're going to quit your job and go down to 1 salary, then you have to find other ways to compensate for that. So look for something else to do, something to do that gives you joy. Find a talent that you have. Even if you have to do a small course in soap making and sell your soaps at the farmer's market, do something that makes you happy. Do something that can increase your income. You have to figure this out. That's what planning is about. Planning your life out before you quit your job. And I know it's easy to be wary about it and easy to feel like, oh, this is something I can never do. But believe me, if I can do it and if other people can do it, what's so special about you that you can do it? What's so special about your mortgage that you won't be able to pay it, but I can pay mine? So that's also the mindset that you have to have, that there's nothing special about you, that you have to work for the next 40 years, but other people can walk away from their job and make it work. So some of the things that I did was exactly what I'm telling you now. It took me a year before I walked away from my job, but I planned it out. I'll link it above and below. I started my own Etsy store, selling things around my house that I wanted to get rid of, and that took off and it became a full-blown business for me. But you might have some other talents, and those are the things that you have to look into for yourself and your situation. But I promise you, if you do the research and if you prepare and you be truthful to yourself in eliminating the things that you don't need, even simple things like, instead of going out to eat in restaurants, that you prepare your home cooked meals and you buy your food in bulk. Like if you look in my cupboard, I have bags and bags of flour and bags of rice, and so when you buy in bulk, your grocery bill is not as ridiculously high as if when you did have a job that every crack of a thought, hey, I have to go and get this, that you jump in your car and you go to the grocery store. Speaking of cars, get rid of your car, buy a smaller car or a bicycle so you don't have to pay that car note. There's so many things that we're doing and that we have that we don't really need, and we're breaking our spirit every day going to work to pay for. That is so unnecessary. And another example of the things that we did, we always had 3-story homes because our daughters were at home. But when they were gone, it wasn't necessary anymore to have a house with 5 rooms and 3 bathrooms. And so we bought a small apartment, a lovely place, and we're so happy there. There's so much less to clean and to do and to pay for. And when you think about it, why do you need so many rooms? It's taking away so much joy from your life to work so hard to pay for. But why is it necessary? Is it because you want to front to family that you have a big home, or to friends, or what is it all about? Those are the questions you have to ask. Is it really necessary? You would not believe how much more happy and at peace, and so much more that you have when you quit your job and live a more simple life. We are able to travel so much more. We travel to so many countries, so many places. And speaking of travel, that's another thing that you can cut back on. That before, when we were both working, when you travel, you stay in these 5-star hotels, and now we stay in wonderful bed and breakfasts, and it's so much more intimate, and yeah, when you leave, you feel like you made friends for a lifetime. And the difference that you feel now, and you think, why haven't I been doing this for years? I've been staying in these impersonal hotels, and why? Because it says it's a 5-star hotel, when now we stay in bed and breakfasts, and our experiences are so much greater. And not that we can't stay in 5-star hotels, but it's that change of mindset that you have to implement in your life, just to tone it down and to live more for the enjoyment of life, and not for showing to the world your life. It's not necessary. It causes way too much stress, and it's not real. So how do you quit your job? First, you have to change your mindset. You have to understand that your life is about you, and to live simple and to slow down in life, you're gonna have all kinds of advices from loved ones and family coming at you that this is a crazy thing to do, and you're never gonna make it work, and how can you quit your job and start your own thing? It's irresponsible, you have children. Believe me, you will survive this. You just have to shut off all that noise. Prepare yourself. No matter how long it takes, start today. Prepare yourself and make a plan. Be honest to yourself about the things that you really need and the things that you really want, and cut those things out of your life. If you start now by cutting down all your bills, getting rid of the things that you don't want, sell the things in your house that are in boxes and bins and things that you haven't used for 3 months, get rid of them. You don't need them. If you haven't used them for 3 months, you don't need them. Empty your storage spaces. If you haven't been using them, you don't need them. Make hard decisions. If it's to sell your house and go and live smaller, cut your mortgage payment in half, do that. Be brave. This is your life. This is your journey. It'll be a shame for you to born and die in the place that you began your journey on this planet. Stop paying bills and use your money to explore this planet before your time is up. So my advice is that you can do this, but you have to prepare. You have to be honest. You have to listen to your own voices in your own head, and don't be influenced by anyone else, and make a date and work towards that plan and that goal and that date. And I wish you success. What are you doing?
Je hebt toen de opnames.